Spikmake's intention is to enrich the quality of formal education by increasing awareness about different aspects of Indian heritage and inspiring the young minds to imbibe the values embedded in it. For this, the most accomplished artists of this country render programs of Indian classical music and dance, folk, poetry, theatre, traditional paintings, crafts, and yoga primarily in schools and colleges. In 2011, Spikmeke was awarded the Rajiv Gandhi Sadbhavna Award in recognition of its contribution to youth development. All these programs are organized by thousands of volunteers, largely students, teachers, housewives, retired people, professionals, young and old. Spikmeke celebrates Nishkam Seva, the spirit of volunteerism, of giving selflessly without expectation, a value that is intrinsic to our culture and important to nurture in today's world. Spikmeke is an affirmation of a priceless cultural heritage, the pulsating and the dynamic vitality of young people, a solid value based education, the effectiveness of voluntary work. Spikmeke stands on the shoulders of its four main pillars, together working towards the collective effort of reaching every child and enriching the quality of education, going beyond the barrier of techniques and methods. These four pillars are artists, institutions, volunteers, and supporters. Spikmeke introduced the lecture demonstration format to present Indian classical art forms in a comprehensive manner in today's future, which has given them an understanding of the basics of the classical art forms and done away with the misconception that classical arts are difficult to understand. Now, over to Priya, who will introduce the performer of the day.
Yes, so Priya, can you please continue the program, Priya? Can you please unmute yourself?
Shirley, can you take over, please?
Yes, sure. Okay. I'm Shuli of class 11th, and today's guests of the day are Dr. Pandit Ranajit Sengupta and Shri Sandeep Ghosh. Is one of the best sarod player and music composer from India, having performed in more than 45 countries around the world for last 27 years. He's a student of late Ustad Dhyanesh Khan and Ustad Ashish Khan of Maihar Senia Gharana, and attended several workshops by late Dr. Ustad Ali Akbar Khan in India and California. He is one of the youngest top grade sarod players from All India Radio and television and winner of President Award for securing first position in All India Radio competition. Acharya Baba Alauddin Memorial Award, Pandit Nikhil Banerjee Memorial Award, and Best Talent of the Year Award by HMV, to name few. He is a topper in both graduation and master's exam award. His doctorate degree from Rabindra Bharati University, Kolkata, Dr. Sengupta is a guest lecturer in universities in Canada, USA, Germany, Switzerland, England, and India. He has performed in major music festivals and venues around the globe, including USA, Canada, Switzerland, France, Germany, Italy, Denmark, the Netherlands, Greece, England, Scotland, Estonia, Russia, Africa, United Arab Emirates, Syria, and Caribbean islands, to name just a few. He has over 50 CD and DVD releases from around the world. Ranajit ji has composed music for the Dutch feature film Dark Amsterdam, the title music for the International Film Festival Kolkata in 1994, and the music for the road movie Lost and Found Tour, filmed about himself and three other Austrian musicians. He got 6 world fusion music bands with musicians from around the globe. Ranajit ji has been the principal composer, guest conductor, and guru for the National Youth Orchestra for Indian music in England from 2011 to 2015. Thank you. Now please sit back, relax, and enjoy the concert.
Wow, sir, that was beautiful. Thank you so much for that incredible performance. Now it is time for the question answer session. Our audience now has the opportunity to interact with sir. Please keep your videos on and raise your hand if you need to ask questions. Now I'll be starting the session with a few questions of my own. Sir, would you please tell us about your thoughts on fusion of Indian and Western music?
Can you hear me, first of all? Good evening to all of you.
Good evening, sir. You're audible.
Thank you very much. Actually, there is a big confusion about fusion music because, to my opinion, fusion music should be between two different genre of music, but between the musicians who have gone through a proper training of the other genre of music and have the perfect respect and love for the other forms, the other genre. So fusion music is a very, very common word today, but I would only do this collaborative work with other genre of music when I have been working with the other musicians for a longer time and to understand his music, and he understands my music. So I think this is important.
I see, sir. There needs to be a better foundation for the respect between
Sorry?
You're saying there needs to be there needs to be a better foundation between the two genres
of
being
course, there should
collaborated.
be a bit of foundation. And also, it is not that you come with a guitar and you come with a sitar and you play together and it is fusion. For me, it is not. For me, if you want to work with a guitarist, you have to know because on guitar or piano, for instance, this is a music normally played to play harmonies. And in Indian classical music, sitar or sarod or violin or flute, when we play raga music, it is a one-line music, it's a melodic music. So when you want to work with a guitarist or a pianist, then you have to know the harmonies. When you have a melody, which will be the perfect harmonies with that melody. And for that, you have to study, you have to go to a teacher, you have to learn the music. It is not that just going on stage and do fusion. You understand what I mean?
Yes, sir. On that topic, I've heard that you have a lot of experience working with world fusion bands. Would you tell us about that lovely experience?
Actually, I have at the moment 6 very busy bands where I play with other musicians. And my first band was formed in 1995 when I was on my 3rd tour in Europe with a guitarist called Daniel Lutke. He's a guitarist. So we started as a duo, Ranajit and Daniel, and then we invited a bassist. And of course, the accompanying tabla player who was touring with me in Europe, he joined. So we performed as a quartet. But basically it started as a duo. And this band was called Kya Baat, or still called Kya Baat. If you go to the website, it's ranajitsengupta.com/Kya Baat. You can hear some of the music, and also in YouTube you will find some compositions from that band. That was my first ever band that I made for world fusion music. And then I had many other bands with my Swiss counterpart, my very good classical 8-string guitar player, classical guitar player who plays Western classical music, Miguel Guldiman. With him, I had a band called Anurag. And but more, if you say it's world fusion, that is a project I have. It is called Choral of Life, or AZA. This is with Wolfgang Netzer. He's from Munich. He's a composer for film music. And with him, I got a band where we have also an Italian clarinet player, my wife Shirin Sengupta, who is a classical vocalist, pure classical vocalist. But we had other percussionists and other musicians joining as guests. So, and then I have this K3 featuring Ranajit Sengupta, which is my Austrian band. from Salzburg and Vienna, musicians from Salzburg and Vienna, where I have the band with the saxophonist, double bass and drums. So I have really different, I have worked with different setup of musicians, different genre also. From jazz to Western classical, of course, Indian classical music was there, as I am an Indian classical musician, but I started writing music for different genre of music because I studied that music too in Europe since early 90s when I first came to Europe.
That's incredible, sir. What would you say is your most memorable performance up to date?
I have few, but right now I remember my performance at the Queen Elizabeth Hall in London back in 2013. The interesting part was that I not only played there as a soloist, but my compositions were played by the National Youth Orchestra of UK. In UK, England, there are 9 or 10 National Youth Orchestras, and there is one National Youth Orchestra for Indian music, which is called Samyo and Tarang. They have a group of musicians between the age 8 to 18, and the other group is from 18 to 30. So these both group performed my composition on stage with me, and I was conducting them at the Queen Elizabeth Hall. So that is one of my most memorable concert. But another one I should say in St. Petersburg, I remember it was at the Philharmonic Hall, the main concert hall, and they put all chairs out and made like in India, they made the stage, and then instead of the seats, they had, like in India, they had the carpet for the audience also. They were bound to take off their shoes, and they had chai, Indian tea, and they can go to the concert sitting on floor like we.
Oh, that must have been incredible, sir.
Yes, that is also the concept. But I have so many. I have been to 48 countries till date, and for last 27 years. So I have really a lot of experience, lot of memorable things. But I don't remember everything at the moment. But if I remember, I will continue to tell you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. That was lovely. I'll just pass over to Akshara now.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I would like to start off by asking, sir, is it more fun to perform abroad or in our own nation?
This is a good question. Actually, for me, I don't, when I am playing, when I am already tuned my instrument on my lap, it is like me together with the Sarod. It is what represents me. My music represents me. So doesn't matter if I'm in London or I'm in Kolkata or in Pune or in Bangalore, doesn't matter for me. But the audience, of course, inspires me. When you see in a country that you have never been before and you see all the audience, they are giving so much respect to our pure Indian classical music, the traditional music, then you are really inspired to play, of course. But for me, until I tune my instrument, I think about where I am. But once I have tuned my instrument, I start playing the raga, I'm inside. So doesn't matter where I am.
That was lovely, sir. Moving on, what's your favorite rag to play on Sarod? I
have few. I cannot say one or two, but I have some favorites. For morning ragas, I have Lalit, one of my favorite, Lalit, Bilas Kani Tori, Ahirveda, Bhatiyar, and afternoon ragas, I have Pardeep, Bhimpalasi. For evening ragas, I love very much to play Shri, then Bageshri. Marva is one of my most favorite raga is Marva. Jhinjati, there are so many. And also some ragas created by Pandit Ravi Shankar and Ustad Ali Akbar Khan Sahib, because I did my PhD about their contribution as a composer and collaborators. And during that time, I went through their the ragas. I went through the ragas that they have created, and I love to play Jogeshwari by Pandit Ravi Shankar or Madhumalati and Chandranandan, which I just played as the second raga. Chandranandan is one of the raga that was created by Ustad Ali Khan Sahib. So those are the ragas that this is very beautiful for me to play. I feel very close to those ragas.
Thank you, sir. That was lovely. And just a curious question: what would have been your profession if you weren't a musician?
I was a student of science, so my favorite subject was physics. And I was almost going to an engineering college, but at that time I listened to Ustad Ali Akbar Khan Sahab, and I was so much inclined. I have decided to study music in my graduation and masters. But if I would not be a musician, I would be maybe a person who is doing research work on physics. My favorite subject was physics.
Thank you so much, sir, for the beautiful answers. I would like to hand over to Priya.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Beta.
I would like to start asking the question that do you remember your first day with Sarod and your first experience? Was it by choice?
Yes, it was my choice. I was a mandolin player as a child. I played when I was only 5 years old. I played for All India Radio in Guwahati because I am a Bengali from Kolkata, but I was born in Assam, in Guwahati. I think some of you know about this city. The Assam is the state where the tea comes from, though I love to drink Darjeeling tea, but I was born in Assam. And I played mandolin for a long time, and also my first disc record was released in 1979 when I was 9 years old, 10 years old. And that was the international year for the children. It was International Children Year. So I played mandolin for a while until I was in my teens, and also guitar. But as a classical musician, I really started late. I was 17 when I got my Sarod. So I'm not a Sarod player from my early childhood. I started learning Sarod quite late.
Okay.
But my first experience was, of course, Ustad Ali Akbar Khan Sahab. There was a recording in All India Radio from him, which my sister, who is right now living in Canada, she played me a recording of Ustad Ali Akbar Khan Sahab in All India Radio. And then I found that sound so touchy that I thought this should be my instrument. But I didn't know the instrument. I didn't have that instrument. So then I looked for it, and my parents, they really inspired me and helped me. And I could start learning that instrument. I'm still a learner. I'm still a student. And so my experience with Sarod was very deep. So I still play other instruments. I teach a lot of students around the world different instruments, and I have recorded 18 instruments professionally in different musical projects. But Sarod is my first love, you can say, of course, my main instrument.
Okay, so that was amazing. Sir, we know that your family is a music family. Is there any particular person or situation that made you develop interest in music?
No, actually, my family, my wife and my son plays music, but my father was an IRTS, equivalent to IAS officer for Indian Railway Services. And all my uncles and aunties, they are working as normal professions. But two of my uncles played guitar, who inspired me to start playing this mandolin and guitar on this. But my grandfather was a devotional singer, we call it kirtan, and my father and my other uncles regularly practiced kirtan in the weekends when they have holy free days, they did kirtan. And from my grandmother's side, one of his brother was one of the most famous kirtaniya who composed kirtan. His name is Ganodhar Ranjan Dasgupta. He was the brother of my grandmother. So I had some music in the family, but nobody was professional. So in my family, I started to become a professional musician. And my wife is a vocalist. She's also a professional singer, classical vocalist. And my son is studying MBA, but he plays also mandolin. It's very special mandolin. It is a 19-stringed custom-made mandolin. It is a very special one. You should find him in YouTube. His name is Sengupta, and he plays this special instrument, which is developed by Peter Neubecker, a very famous person in Munich, Germany, and Mr. Biswas in Kolkata. So it was 2 years of research work until they developed that instrument. It's a mandolin, but not a normal mandolin.
Wow, sir, that was great. Sir, how did you manage your school as well as your passion?
My school,
Yes, sir.
no, I have an international music school here in Kolkata, where I have regular students from this area in Kolkata and around Kolkata. But during winter, I have a lot of students from abroad. Both me and my wife, Shirin, we got students from other countries. They come in the winter for a longer time. Some come from 6 weeks, some come from some little more weeks. And when I have concerts, when I have to go on tour, then my wife helped me to teach them. Or when my wife is on tour, I try to help the students who are with us here.
Sir, what about your childhood when you were in school?
Oh, you mean that school? Okay.
Yes, sir.
During my childhood, I was playing mandolin, but not so serious. I never thought I will be a musician. I was just doing my studies, normal studies, and I was in love with music, but I was not sure if I will be a musician as a professional musician. I think.
Okay. So, sir, were you learning at that time, at that age when you were in school?
Yes, I was learning from my own uncles. They are guitarists playing mainly popular music. Jyoti Prasad Sengupta, Vijay Prasad Sengupta, they are my uncles. They are still professional musicians. So they introduced me to music, of course, but not in that way that I could decide I will be a musician. I will be a professional musician. I didn't know that.
Wow, sir, that was great. Over to Shirley Didi.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Beta.
I have a question about what kind of music you listen to as a teenager. Yeah.
Till today, I'm a great fan of Lata Mangeshkar, and her music, her singing influenced me a lot. So I don't think I have a day when I didn't listen to one of her singing. But as a child, I was not exposed to classical music much. So I used to listen mainly popular music, because whenever I listened to one song I liked, I immediately started to play that on mandolin. So try to imitate the singing styles. But later also, like now, you can have the possibility to listen to any genre of music in YouTube. We didn't have YouTube when I was a young boy. So I went to the record stores and bought this music. I think you know about an album called Arabian Nights, where a lot of mandolin pieces were there. So I bought that record. My uncles, my friends of my uncles, friends of my father, they gifted me different records. So I listened to some world music then. But later, when I was traveling abroad, early 90s, I was exposed to a big world of music, and I went to jazz festivals. I was staying there for 3 days in a camp, being with great masters of jazz music. And then I worked with rock music also. One of the most famous rock singer in Russia is a good friend of me. I always stay with him when I come to St. Petersburg. So I played for popular music. I played for any, you can blues. I played blues. I played with the most famous bassist from the world. You can tell he's called the god of world jazz now. His name is Marcos Miller. You can find it in YouTube. I have a 5-6 minutes piece with him, a composition from Herbie Hancock, one of the most famous pianists. And Marcos Miller has been a bassist with Miles Davis. Miles Davis is like God for jazz music. Like we have Pandit Ravi Shankar Prasad, Ali Akbar Khan in Indian classical music. In jazz music, Miles Davis is called the God. And this person with whom I have this duo, the song is called Cantaloupe Island. It is a jazz standards, they say. So I played so many different forms of music, and I compose a lot of music. which is keeping me busy. I'm actually traveling tomorrow to Rajasthan, to Ajmer, to do symphony orchestra, to compose a symphony orchestra for over 200 students. I think they are your age.
Sir, thank you for sharing that. It was very interesting. Uh, do you have any favorite rock band that you would like to collaborate with using the Sarod?
Not really, because first of all, it is very loud music. So Sarod, I will need to have a pickup on Sarod to have enough loud to play with them, which I would not do. But I tried all this. I went to studio, I recorded for them some sounds. When I made the music for the film called Dark Amsterdam, it is about the nightlife in Amsterdam. And because in Amsterdam, this is a city where every evening is Saturday night. Every evening they go after work to relax in the clubs, have a tea, coffee with friends, have some drinks together. So in that film, I used a lot of sounds, really techno sounds, electronics, but I used Sarod also because they loved very much the soft sound of the Sarod, the alap, the slow movements, because that makes your body and mind relaxed or calm.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that, sir.
Thank you.
What is your routine before a music concert or a performance? Do you have a specific routine that you follow?
I take a shower. I take a shower. If it is also minus 30 outside, I will take a shower before going on stage. This is something, and I always carry my Darjeeling First Flash. I have a tea which I travel around the world with, and I have I always ask the friends wherever I go that there should be hot water ready for me so I can make my own tea. That is also part of my routine for me, of course. And I do yoga in the morning. That is also to keep me fit, because I
seems like
crossed 50 now, so I have to take care about my routine.
it seems like a very nice, stable, healthy routine. Okay, another question. I'm sure you've worked passionately and dedicatedly towards becoming the great musician you are today. But I would like to know that as a student who wants to take up music as a main subject in her academics and higher studies, what would be your advice if a student who aspires to be a musician comes to you for career guidance?
First of all, at least for this time of the time, it is not that you only learn the music to perform, because it is international now. Indian classical music is considered one of the most important music in world music scenario. So I did my PhD because of my passion, because of my love for this music, of course. But I know a lot of musicians who never went to higher studies. They just learned the instrument. They are incredible musicians and they perform it incredibly. So I would always suggest my students to do academics very nicely, along with practicing their own instrument. Because when you represent yourself on stage, that is not everything. When you decide performing, when you talk to the people, when you interact with the people, when you talk in a show about the music, you have to have the knowledge which you can only have if you do academics nicely. So go deeper into it. Go know this. I have experienced that in my life when I was young. That when I asked some musicians, excellent musician, after the concert, I have some questions, but they told we don't know the answer. That really saddened my feeling. I thought if I will be asked by someone about this, I should have an answer, because especially when I started very early to go to Europe to meet people from the Western, to meet the Western audience. They are so curious to know the deeper meanings of this classical Indian music, and like Shrutis, all these special features that no other music use. no other genre of music is used. So for that, I would always inspire my students or the musicians who are learning music to do study the theoretical part as well, besides practicing, besides making yourself strong practically, like as an instrumentalist or vocalist, you should also know the basics and some advanced theoretical ideas.
That's a very insightful answer, actually. I'm sure it'll help a lot of people who want to pursue music as their career, just like you did.
Thank
I
you.
have one last question. Do you feel that there is a renewed interest in the youth in Indian classical music today, or do you see a decline?
No, I see it is going like I would expect. Actually, Indian classical music was never for mass, and it should not be for mass also, because you have to have a status of yourself, like status, I mean, a standard of your understanding this music. And no, it is not for everybody. It is not for everybody. Unless you have the love and respect for the music, it is better that I have 10 audience than 100 audience like in a rock or pop show. Because the depth of classical music should be properly presented and accepted by the audience.
Yes, sir. I agree with you. When there's classical music, you need a proper setup and the right audience for it. So that is a very righteous statement. So, okay, just another question.
Okay.
Who are your favorite musicians whom you considered as your role model? You can name 5 or 10 or
Of
any.
course, Ustad Ali Akbar Khan sir, Pandit Ravi Shankar, and Pandit Nikhil Banerjee, he has influenced me a lot. A sitar player, I don't know if you have listened to him. He has influenced my music tremendously. Also, Pandit Shiv Kumar Sharma, Pandit Hariprasad Chaurasia. These are musicians that I have personally listened to, but I never listened to D.B. Paluskarji. He's one of my favorite. Pandit Bhimsen Joshi, I listened several times. And from the musicians right now who are performing, my most favorite vocalist is Pandit Ullas Kashankar. He's the guru of my wife, Sengupta. So I was very lucky to know him personally. He visited our home 2 times, and I visited, or we visited him quite a lot of times. So his music is also something which inspires me a lot from inside.
Thank you so much for that answer, sir. I would like to hand over to Nikita, who has a few more questions for you.
I think she is not.
Yes. So, sir, I have one question. Can you please tell us the history of this wonderful instrument and the styles of music that followed?
The instrument I play is called Sarod.
Yes, sir.
And there are some instruments look alike, like from Afghanistan, there is rabab. But what I have studied classical sarod that we play today came from Sarodia Veena. You know, the oldest string instrument in India was called Veena, and there were 2 very different types of Veena. And from the sitar also came from Veena, like the origin of sitar is also Veena, and the origin of sarod is Sarodia Veena, which had a skin on top. You see, when I played the instrument, there is a skin on top, and this is made with goat skin, like the tabla. Tabla is also played on the skin. It is covered with the skin. And for playing sarod, we need nails to slide. You can see, I don't know if you can see, I have to keep nails. And sometimes I have to go to nail studio to keep my nails strong. we play with a plectrum made with coconut shell. The outside of coconut is made, the plectrum is made with that. And on our left, when we play on the strings, we slide on the strings with our nails, but there is no fret. It is a fretless instrument, like the violin or viola. In sitar, it is like guitar. You have the frets. You know which is sa, which is re, which is ga on the frets. But in sarod, it is called. You should have the best ear to start to play this instrument, because nothing is fixed there like the frets. So it's a blind instrument, we call it.
Okay, sir. Sir, also, can you please tell your experience with Spikmeke?
Yes, I played for the first time for Spikmeke in Goa with Rupak Bhattacharya on tabla. I was on tour because I have invited 3 great Austrian musicians to India. The Ministry of Culture from the Austrian government have sponsored that tour, because that was a 7-city tour and a film making. So a film was made about me working with these 3 Austrian musicians. And we played also in International Jazz Festival Goa. And I had 3 days free when I performed in several schools in Goa. And then I played in Arunachal Pradesh a couple of years ago, but not much. I have not played for Spikmeke much yet, because I have been always touring and I did not have the possibility to join. But I think now I am thinking about staying back in India longer times, and so I will play more often for Spikmeke. It is a great initiative. I played some concerts abroad also, because in Spikmeke they organize some concerts in other countries too. And I think it should be more and more in different schools and colleges that Spikmeke come and inspire the younger generation to listen to Indian classical music.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. That was amazing to know. Over to Shuli Didi.
So now we come to the end of our program. On behalf of staff and students of Army Public School, Kamraj, Bangalore, we would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to our artist for the evening, Dr. Pandit Ranajit Sengupta, and his accompaniment, Sri Sandeep Ghosh on tabla. Respected sirs, you have inspired all of us to look at classical art in a different light. We thank Spikmeke for having given us this opportunity to host such a prestigious event and made it a memorable evening for all of us. Our special thanks to our school's officiative principal, Mrs. Sajita Satish, ma'am, for having given us the responsibility of taking this program forward. I thank Jayashri Kannan ma'am, senior Spikmeke volunteer, for her unstinted support in enabling this program for our school. I owe special gratitude to our technical team for evincing interest in covering the event and all good hearts who worked behind the screen. And last but not least, a big thanks to our audience for being supportive and appreciative of this classical form of art. We are happy to invite you all to join us next Saturday, same time, same link, for yet another Rendezvous series. Till then, goodbye and stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you on behalf of Spikmeke to Panditji.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Shabujaji ji.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Can I leave now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you
Thank
very
you so
much.
much, sir.
Thank you very much to all of you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, sir.
Um,
Yeah, I think, ma'am, you can end the
Yeah,
meeting.
yeah, I can end the meeting, sir.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay.